the story of Kefir or Kefir, whichever it is, and the Caucasus Mountain region. But I've been doing research on it, and it's pretty broad for me to put a story together. So I'm going to put little pieces of video that I've done already, and this is what I'm going to tell you today. But the thing about kefir for me is that when I make it and I drink it, it's the same as me drinking it's the same as what the ancients drank. And that makes me feel good about the gift that it has given to me. And no one has been able to reproduce kefir. It's just passed on. That's what people do. They pass it on. You keep making it over and over again, or you save it in the freezer, something that has to be passed on from generation to generation or person to person. And so that, didn't think about it when I first got it, when I first bought it, but I was at the Amish lady that sells it, and so I can make it with my raw goat milk or my raw cow's milk that I buy over there. So, but it's really, I've been drinking it for at least 4 years, and I tried to tell the hospital, my supposedly advocate, I tried to tell her that it's really done me wonders, and that's the choice that I'm making for my health care. I want to do continue my chiropractic, and I want to continue my massage therapy, and I want to do my walking, and I want to do my Tai Chi, and then when it's swimming time, I go to the pool and I do exercises. And let's see, what else do I do? And I socialize, and I got my Bible study group and my Tai Chi group. They're just ladies that get together. And she pretty much dismissed me, and didn't really say anything about it. But I gave her the copy of the sheet that I read, that I'm going to read to you on this thing that the Amish gal had given me. But I also gave her my testimony to that the kefir has been really healing me. I didn't have any fresh goat's milk, and so I just started going back to get it. And it just does wonders for me, and I can't really explain it unless I write a formal paper on it, because I can't really get my thoughts together to tell you right now. But I know that it's given for the hospitals in the United States do not recognize it as a treatment, but other places and hospitals, they do give it, and especially in the area of the Caucasus Mountains, they recommend it for the metabolic disorders that we have in this country, and like the blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, all those things that cause all the problems that we have, that if we just drank kefir and we exercise or did things that we need to make ourselves well, then we would be well. I mean, I have been, and so I have quite a history with the healthcare system, and I was in bad shape, And I mean, people, they may not like the drink, the taste of it. I guess it had a history of, it's a legend or something that it was the manna that came down from heaven. I told the Amish gal, I told her that I think it is, because that's how good it has done me. And they noticed that it had, because they would see me from year to year and they would say, "You're looking well compared to what I had been before." And they tell me I can speak better and I'm functioning better. And I told them I'm feeling better, But um but anyway, it's I wish that the hospitals and the doctors here would accept that raw milk and kefir grains, they heal problems. And the reason why they heal you is because they have bacteria in it that we have lost, and it's not in our bodies. And the bacteria, it's good bacteria. And the good bacteria, it works in such a way, and it doesn't have any sugar in it because it eats all the sugar that's in the milk, and it even has some kind of enzymes in it that it could eat any that's left in there, So I just don't know, but I know that it's worked for me, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm working on trying to pronounce the word Kefir and Caucasus Mountains and Kefir. But I cannot guarantee that I will get it right every time because I'm used to saying Kefir. But it's Kefir. I guess I'm pretty close to it. Kefir and Caucasus Mountains. And the reason why I was interested in that was because the origins of kefir predate written records. And in ancient times, the eastern nomadic shepherds discovered the milk they carried in their pouches during the travels was turning into foamy beverage. And pretty soon they discovered there was some kefir grains in the bottom of their pouches, and they could strain it off and they could make more milk and just keep on doing it. That's the story. And the word kefir is derived from the Turkish keyif, or whatever it is, which means to feel good after its ingestion. And milk kefir grains are a mother culture whose main physical structure is made up of polysaccharides. I got this from the culturesofhealth.com. But in addition to that, the Amish woman that has that paper that I got written out, that she gave me a copy of. But the primary of which is polysaccharides, the primary of which is kefiron. Within this matrix is polysaccharides exist both bacteria and yeast, which exist in a symbiosis both with each other. These bacteria and yeast feed on the milk and thereby culture it. These grains have a gelatinous feel to them and look like a sort of miniature floret shape, much like cauliflower. Most sources agree that the milk kefir grain culture was harnessed somewhere near the Caucasus Mountains. The grains themselves are quite unusual in that there's no other culture dairy product is known to come from grains. Though the species of the origination of though the specifics of the origination of milk kefir grains are fairly shrouded in mystery, one thing is made clear. Milk kefir grains must be acquired from somewhere, The specific polysaccharide bacteria and yeast that make up milk kefir grains have been handed down from generation to generation. And then you can multiply them once you have them. But many mystical and religious stories enshrine kefir as a sacred food across different cultures. One belief is that manna from heaven, given from God to the Israelites, was kefir grains. Another belief is that Noah received kefir from God to help him and his ark survive the flood. The Caucasus Mountains is a rural region between Russia and Georgia. And there's a story about that Muhammad, the prophet Muhammad, was the grains of prophet that he had been given the grains. And there was that in giving you have to be very careful with telling people, because the power of them would be put down, I guess. They would go down. So there's a long history of secrecy. But Irina Sakhavanor, I don't know her name, but she was a Russian that was touted as triumphant in bringing the kefir grains to Russia and the outside world for the first time in the early 1900s. Kefir quickly spread through Russia, at first as a health tonic to cure illness like digestive disorders, cancer, atherosclerosis, and tuberculosis. By 1930, kefir was a staple in everyday Russian diet. In 1960, kefir was introduced to the U.S. And I'm just keep on learning, because now I'm going to strain out the grains, and I'll show you what some of them look like. I hope enough will come out that I can show you. Whoops. I keep this. It's a very delicate matter. Let's see. I'll just get a spoon here. Just pour some more in here. And oops, we're getting on the outside of it, but I got enough now I can show you what it looks like. If you've never seen kefir grains, they looks like little. I guess it can get on there. See, it looks like little cauliflower, or I guess it's gonna get on it's gonna go down there on that, but I'm going to tell you more about how to make it, but that I just was pouring it out, but I'm going to have to pour it back in here to make, it's not thick enough yet, the kefir. I wanted to make it thicker, but I just wanted to show you the grains right now, and then I'm going to be talking to you about when I got them and when I started drinking it when I had my stroke. And I think that this is what is a big part of why I healed from my stroke and haven't needed any medicine, because my gut was all messed up. Okay, I'll get back to you later. Thank you. Hello. I just done a little video on the kefir grains, and I wanted to add to that I got this thing from the gal that I bought the kefir grains from, and she just copied it. She handwritten it, and then she copied it. She's Amish, And the kefir grains, they just would come in a little jar. She kept it frozen, and then they cost $5, and that was in August of 21, so 2021. So it's been about 4 years that I've been doing kefir. And this says kefir is a cultured and microbial rich food that helps restore the inner ecology. It contains strains of beneficial yeast and beneficial bacteria in a symbiotic relationship that gives kefir antibiotic properties. A natural antibiotic, and it is made from milk, raw milk. And I use goat milk. I got an Amish family that gives me, for a price, goat milk. The finished product is not unlike that of a drink-style yogurt, but kefir has a more tart, refreshing taste and contains completely different microorganisms. Kefir does not feed yeast, and it usually doesn't even bother people who are lactose intolerant. That's because the friendly bacteria and the beneficial yeast growing in the kefir consume most of the lactose and provide very efficient enzymes, lactase, for consuming whatever lactose is still left after the culturing process. Isn't that neat? Kefir is mucus forming, but the slight mucus quality is exactly what makes kefir work for us. The mucus has a clean quality to it that coat the lining of the digestive tract and creating a sort of nest where beneficial bacteria can settle and colonize. Kefir is made from gelatinous white or yellow particles called grains. They contain the bacteria yeast mixture dumped together with casein, milk proteins, and polysaccharides, complex sugars. They look like pieces of coral or small clumps of cauliflower and range from size of a grain of wheat to that of a hazelnut. Some grains have been known to grow in large, flat sheets that can be big enough to cover your hand. No other milk culture forms grains, making kefir, kefir, truly unique. Once the grains ferment the milk by incorporating the friendly organisms into the final product, you remove the grains with a strainer before drinking the kefir. The grains are then added to a new batch of milk, and the process continues indefinitely. Or you can freeze it, but I'll just get to that in a minute. So you take 1 cup of fresh whole milk, non-homogenized and raw, and 1 tablespoon or so of kefir grains. Kefir is thicker than Purna milk or buttermilk and has a wonderful tart flavor. Place the grains in a clean, wide-mouth, quart-sized mason jar. Milk should be room temperature. Add the grains and stir well and cover. Several times a day if possible, shake and stir it. Usually ready in 12 hours, and the kefir may become thick and effervescent depending on the temperature, incubation time, and the amount of curd that you use. Pour the kefir through a strainer into another jar to remove the grains. Use the grains to make another batch of kefir and prepare or prepare them to storage by rinsing well with water and placing them in a small jar with about half a cup of filtered water. They may be stored in the refrigerator several weeks or in the freezer for several months of they are left or for several months. If they are left too long in storage, they will lose their culturing power. Use the amount of milk according to how many persons will be using the kefir. A 1/4 to 3/4 cup per person should be fine. And that's the story of kefir that that gal gave me. And I have told her, like, every time I go over there, I tell her that it is one thing that I really am glad that I ran into her and I learned about, because it has helped me tremendously. I know my grandmother, who lived to be 104, she drank buttermilk all of her life, but the buttermilk that they have wasn't made the old way that they used to make it. And so I wanted to get something that's close to that, and kefir was that. I don't know if you pronounce it kefir, but people should know what I mean when it's Kefir. Kefir. I don't know. You may hear me say. Okay, I was wondering if this was truly going to be a rooster, because I said it was on that video, but what do you think? I thought he was going to be, but then he doesn't look like he's, this hair would have to come down and it would have to go down like that. And these look round. He might be a hen. She might be a hen, I guess. But the reason why I said that is because it didn't have much of a tail, and now the tail is kind of looking like a. Hi there. Hi, little birdie. Hi. How you doing? Yeah. This is the one I thought was going to be a rooster, but I don't know now. He might be a hen. I don't know. But they're just beautiful birds. Say hi to the folks. Say hi. How you doing? Yes, I want a close-up of you. Yep. Say hi. Hello. See me? See me? Mwah. Hello. Hello. Can you see me? Yeah? Yeah. That's a little chickie talking. See his feet? Yes. See his wings? See? That looks beautiful. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put you in there. Okay. Bye-bye. You say bye-bye. Bye-bye, sweetie. Okay, this is another rooster that I have. And I wanted to show you that he has, look at those beautiful, beautiful wings that he has. My goodness, they're beautiful. I'm going to turn him around. This is his front. Let the people see your beautiful face. Oh, my wings. They're so, I don't know how I done that last night. You could see how his wings look. He's a rooster, but look at those beautiful, beautiful wings. He's not full grown yet, but yeah. Yeah, get up too close so they can see you. Ow, the kitty cat's trying to get my foot. Oh my goodness. Say hi. Hello, I'm like one of those chickens that you see that tell us, they tell us something. I just love him. It's just beautiful. And his undercoat. He's got these on his back. Rooster thing that he has. Rooster tail.